So, water phase. Let's find a comfortable position to just connect to our breath with before we start the practice. So, if you're more comfortable on your back, you can go there. A nice one actually is to sit with some blocks stacked between your heels. It really allows for a lot of space for the breathing, for the torso. But whatever position you choose, as long as it's comfortable, it's fine. Close the eyes if they're willing to close. And just start to follow your breathing. Feel how it gently expands on the inhale and the gentle softening collapse on the exhale as the belly draws in. The breath is always through the nose, unless, of course, that's not possible. And the breathing is light, but also deep. So it's a very gentle, relaxed breath. Although the poses may not be as challenging as some, the yin practice is actually considered one of the more challenging styles of yoga. So know that when aversion comes up, resistance, the mind starts talking to you, the body, that's all part of the experience. Taking about 3 more breaths, allowing the face to soften as you do. Feeling the belly really expand and those lower ribs, even to that upper chest for that full 3-part breath, and then slowly emptying it. In your own time, gently blinking the eyes open, coming into our first pose, which is a butterfly forward fold. However, I will give you an alternative if you would prefer not to do the forward fold. First, if you have a blanket or a cushion, something that you can sit on, we're going to sit so that the hips are towards the edge of the cushion. And then the soles of the feet will come together about a foot or more from the body. We don't want them that close. We want this to be something we can hold comfortably for an extended period of time. So if you have any discomfort in your knees or hips, blankets under those thighs, cushions, something to support, inhale to lengthen, and then exhale if you would like to fold. Slowly come into your fold and your comfortable edge. It's okay to round your spine. You just always want to lengthen it first so we're not collapsing in the chest. If a forward fold is not ideal for you today, you can take a bolster behind you or a blanket and you can slowly roll down over that. Make sure you have something to support your head. And you can do a reclined butterfly, which, if you're needing a bit more restorative, or if you're finding that you're really challenged with sitting upright and doing the butterfly, this would be a great alternative. So we're holding each of these poses for between 3 and 6 minutes. We'll hold a little longer for the easier ones, a little shorter for the more challenging ones. This one we have a little more than 3 minutes left. With yin yoga, your first minute of the pose, you just want to make sure you've got it right. Is this the pose that you want to hold for a few minutes? That's what we call our comfortable edge. Once we find our comfortable edge, we resolve ourselves to stay still for a length of time. This can be quite challenging, this stillness and silence. If you're in this pose or any of the poses and you find anything sharp or zinging, anything that feels like there's an injury happening, anything painful, you're going to want to move away from that and come out of the pose or adjust it. With yin yoga, however, discomfort like stretching or pulling, softening, even a slight resistance or a tight feeling or compression, those are actually a discomfort that we encourage. And that would be the kind of discomfort that we would move towards. So you breathe and you allow that. You don't have to move away from that one. Halfway through, the kidney meridians are coming up the insides of the legs through the torso, and the urinary bladder meridians are going down the back alongside the spine and down the backs of the legs, the hamstrings, the calves, alongside the foot, on the outside of the foot. When these meridians are out of balance, fear is present. Working with these meridians, bringing them into balance, wisdom is present. Last few breaths. Taking a deep breath and slowly inhaling to come up. If you're lying down, you're going to take your knees in first and roll to your side first before making your way up and out of the pose. From here, I'm going to offer you some variations. Saddle is actually our next pose, but a lot of us are not going to be able to do saddle. So there are many alternatives. For saddle, you sit in between the heels, or you can sit on your heels with the knees bent. Now, if that's not possible, you can sit up on blocks and work on just feeling that gentle stretch along the quads. If you're comfortable here, you start to lower down. And if you have props, you can place them under your back. You just want to make sure that your hip points are pointing up, not forward. That's really going to compress your low back. Your head can go anywhere that's comfortable for you. Some people actually like keeping it back for the duration. If you have any spine things going on, like compressed discs, you're going to want to put a bolster under your entire length of your spine. Your knees can come apart, they don't have to be close. But if this is too much, which it is for a lot of us, then alternative, you could do that reclined butterfly that we did earlier with the soles of the feet together, lying down over a blanket or simply on the floor, blankets under those thighs. You can also come into a supported bridge. So pressing into the feet, lifting up the hips, and placing something like a block or a book or even just a rolled up mat or a thick rolled up towel under your sacrum, that flat bone at the base of the spine. Feet are about hip distance apart. The more you tune into yourself here, the more you're going to modify the pose based on what you're feeling. This is going to be a little bit shorter hold. A little more than 3 minutes here. Remember with yin, it's your comfortable edge. Move away from those sensations that are too strong, that are causing any zinging. Remember also that therapeutic discomfort is a part of the yin practice. Stay with your breath and notice what you're feeling. Physically, a practice of yin yoga has been found to greatly improve the joints, helping them return to a natural range of motion and improving mobility. Yin yoga has also been found to improve our posture and actually affect architectural changes in the fascia, which in turn affect every other system. So it results in less imbalances in our entire body. This practice makes the joints more supple, and in turn, we have more grace in movement. Last few breaths. Take a deep breath and just notice where your mind is right now. Very slowly, you can help yourself come out of the pose. If you're lying over a bolster, use your elbows, push yourself up. If you're in bridge, press into the feet, lift up the hips, remove the cushion from underneath you. Slowly, everyone making their way to all fours. Take your time. And then from here, lowering all the way down to the belly. So going however feels right for you down to the floor. Stacking your hands under the forehead. Let your feet go as wide as the mat. And take some big belly breaths here, just letting that go. When you feel ready, slowly start to prop up onto your forearms. So there are some situations with shoulders where this isn't a good idea. You can do that reclined butterfly again, or the saddle, or even the supported bridge. Your elbows are under your shoulders or a little further ahead. You can reach for opposite arms if that helps get the right distance. You may choose to have your forearms parallel, which I like for giving a little bit more strengthening to the wrists by pressing into those forearms and drawing the shoulder blades down the back. However, palms together also feels quite nice. You're avoiding the shoulders coming forward. It's very easy to do this with the shoulders up by the neck. But when you press into those forearms and lift the chest and draw the shoulders broadly out to either side, broadening them, you'll find that it's a little bit more challenging. You're going to feel some sensations in your lower back. That's some gentle compression. If it feels like it's too intense, draw your low belly in, even engage the buttocks slightly and see if you can get it to release. If it doesn't, move down a little bit more, maybe put a pillow under your chest, making this a little easier to hold, or come into one of the alternate poses like supported bridge, reclined butterfly, or saddle. This one is going to be another 3-minute hold. This pose Sphinx is in almost every yin class. This is because it puts that wonderful therapeutic pressure on the kidneys. And the kidneys in Chinese medicine house the body's main reservoir of power. The kidney organ system refers to the kidneys, the adrenal glands, and the sexual organs. And together with the urinary bladder, all of these organs make up the water phase that we are practicing. The kidneys are considered the roots of life, the source of our prenatal chi or our jing, our life force. This is why when there is an imbalance in other systems of the body, maybe in the fire phase or the metal phase, always working with the water phase that we are practicing today can help bring the overall balance back and help to return us to well being. So, that pressure that you're feeling, that gentle pressure on the low back, is helping to support that jing, that life force that we're born with. It does not increase after we're born, but how we live, how we eat, how we think, how we behave, how we treat our physical bodies does affect our level of jing and our overall vitality. That is why a practice like this is so important. If you're in a modern lifestyle that tends to overtax our kidneys and deplete our jing, compromising our health. Last few breaths here. Not an easy one to hold that long. Well done. Take a big breath, open your elbows wide, stack your hands under your forehead, and slowly lower down. You can wave your feet in the air to release your hips if that feels good. Ah. Let your feet come back to the mat. Bring your awareness back to your belly as it massages the floor and take 3 more breaths, just feeling your breath fill your belly and feeling it leave your belly. In your own time, take your hands to a comfortable position to push up. Draw that low belly in. Maybe use your forearms and fists and slowly push up to all fours. From here, we're going to come into a child's pose. So, a blanket under the knees is a great idea. If your hips don't come to your heels, you can modify with a puppy dog pose, or once again, try one of those alternate poses that I've mentioned, the bridge, the reclined butterfly. For the regular child's pose, the big toes touch. The knees can go slightly apart so there's room for the belly. On the exhale, sink the hips back to the heels and let your chest come forward, letting the forehead rest on the mat. Now, that's a lot to ask for most of our bodies. So, you can try with your knees under your hips, coming into a modification like a puppy dog where the hips are high. You can rest your forehead on your hands. You can put a cushion under your chest. Or even lying on the back, drawing your knees into your chest. If being on the knees is not enjoyable, you can hug your knees into your chest and do that as well. We're going to hold this one a little bit longer. 4 minutes. In the water phase, the kidney is the yin organ, and the urinary bladder is the yang organ. It is responsible for storing and secreting urine, but as an organ system, it relates to the functions of the autonomic nervous system. So the two main branches are the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. This is why this is so important. This helps us come into the relaxation response or the stress response as needed. These meridians run along the back body from the head to the heel and parallel to the spine. Working with these meridians can help us to calm the stress response and activate the relaxation response in the body. One more minute here. Can you sense into your body? Noticing where you're feeling this, and maybe some spaces that can let go. In your own time, use your inhale breath to slowly come up. You can always do any movement if it feels right. From here, we're going to come into half dragonfly. So we'll start with the left leg extended straight, sitting up on a cushion or a blanket. The right leg is going to be out to the side as far as you can get that knee. Your torso is going to turn towards that straight left leg. So there's a number of variations for this one. Eventually, we're going to fold over the leg. But if you have any knee pain in that bent right knee, You're going to want to put something under that knee, maybe a cushion, something to make it under the thigh to make it supported. Additionally, if you have anything going on with this left knee or with your hamstring in particular, you may want to put a big cushion under that knee so that your left foot is actually flat on the floor. So feel it out. Otherwise, you can have your left leg straight. You can have your right knee out. The torso turns towards the left leg. We inhale to get tall and then exhale to slowly come forward. Listen to your body. Some people, forward folds and rounding is not ideal. So you're welcome to stay upright and breathe here. Keep the knee bent. Let your belly come to the thigh and breathe there. If you're folding and rounding, remember to watch for compressing your chest. So there's a lengthening and then a draping the torso over that leg. You can use props like cushions on the leg to make it a little bit more relaxing. You can rest your head on the cushion if you can get that low. Half dragonfly pose, 3 minutes on this side. Finding your comfortable edge. Staying with that breath. And then resolving to stay still for the duration. There are many benefits to yin yoga. The physical we discussed. There's also emotional and mental benefits and energetic. We learn as we sit in these poses how to ride the waves of emotions and mental activity rather than getting caught up in them. We start to see ourselves more clearly as our particular hindrances may come to the surface. There is a mind training that occurs with every pose. And this gives us the gift of resiliency, not just on the mat, but off the mat, giving us more strength for life's daily challenges. Last few breaths. Taking your time, Inhaling to slowly bring the body back up. If you folded, you do not have to fold, remember. Take the right leg out to join the left. If movement is calling you, go for it. Wiggle, maybe a counter pose, taking the feet flat on the mat, taking the hands behind you, lifting the heart, breathing into that upper chest. And when you feel ready, coming to the other side. So the left heel comes into the groin area and the foot goes against the thigh. And we open the left knee out as wide as we comfortably can. Maybe placing a cushion under the knee if it's high or strained, or sitting up even higher on the cushion under our hips. The torso turns towards that straight leg. Remember, knee injuries, tight hamstrings, or hamstring injury, we're going to place that cushion under the knee and have that knee bent. That way that you'll find the forward fold is much more accessible. When you're ready, coming to the variation of your choice, inhaling to get tall, staying here, softening what you can, experiencing what's happening in your body, or on the exhale, folding forward, lengthening as you go, coming to your comfortable edge. In this pose, we're stretching our urinary bladder meridian that goes along the back of the body and the back of the leg. And we're getting some nice compression for the kidney meridian. When these meridians are out of balance or depleted, what may be present is overwork, chronic fatigue, chronic pain, chronic stress, poor circulation in the lower body, skeletal issues, lack of juiciness in the joints, depleted immunity, issues with the reproductive organs, low back issues, including chronic back pain, dry, cracking joints, arthritis, or anything really relating to the bones and immunity. Overambition might also be present, and medications in general tend to deplete our kidneys. Psychologically, if these meridians are out of balance, fear, gossip, judgment, or relationships that drain or are harmful, living out of alignment with your wisdom, are all signs that you may be depleted in these meridians. The good news is any yin posture is going to help to open your meridians. All the yin poses help to move energy through the body. Sarah Powers coins the phrase needleless acupuncture to describe the practice of yin yoga. Last minute here. In your own time, inhaling to come up. Take your time. Wow. Oh, a lot of us were very much on our knees. Let that go. Let's take our legs back in. If you would like, you can take your hands behind you, feet on the mat, do another counter stretch by just lifting the chest and breathing into that upper chest. The next pose is called caterpillar. It's another forward fold. I will give you an alternative if forward folds are just not working for your body today. Caterpillar can be done from the same position, except we're going to go straight out with our legs. So if you have a bolster, you can place it over your legs, maybe straight wise, and then slowly fold over that bolster. Once again, tight hamstrings, knee issues, take it under your legs instead, keeping your feet flat on the mat or keeping them slightly bent. That's your call. Inhale to get tall, and then exhale to fold that way. If that's just not appropriate for your body today to do another forward fold, you're welcome to do the alternative of fish, where we take the blanket, we fold it so it becomes about 3 inches high. We take another blanket for our heads and we come down so that the blanket is at the base of the shoulder blades, the mid to upper back. Open the arms out wide. Legs can go straight or stay bent, and breathe here. That's if the forward fold is not working for you today. Coming to your comfortable edge. Sometimes you spend that first minute finding the right pose for you, and you're like, wait, what do I do with my head? That is a good question, because sometimes if you put it in the wrong place, your neck can get quite tight. So lengthen your neck by drawing your shoulder blades down. Check that your neck is comfortable and that it's a place that's not going to strain. Yin yoga supports the health of the subtle mind body matrix. That means the health of our subtle body is directly related to our state of mind. Our past traumas are held in our tissues. So, if we hold these poses with awareness, with an openness to what we're feeling, with an invitation to the presence, the present moment, we can help to shift and move what's being stored in our body. This can improve our state of mind and help us gain more presence. This practice also supports harmony and a balanced flow of energy all through the meridians, helping us to absorb more chi from our food, from the air, more prana, more life force, and enhances our overall vitality. Just a few more breaths here. Inhaling to slowly come back up. Nicely done. If you would like to do a counter pose, you can do another back bend, lifting the heart, bending the knees, breathing into that upper chest. Before slowly making your way onto your back into passive rest pose. Taking a few moments there in passive rest pose, where the heels are under the knees, the back of the neck is long. Coming into a twist, you can press into the feet and move the hips a few inches towards the right. And then let your knees come down to the left, stacking your knees, letting that right arm open out wide. If you've got low back issues, it might be better to come all the way to your left side. Keep your knees flush with one another, and then open the right arm out, putting a cushion under your right arm. It does change the pose a bit, but it makes it safer for your lower back. If you don't want compression in the belly area, or you would like to try a different twist, come back to passive rest pose and take the feet wider, and then just let your knees come down to the left. This is going to still stretch a lot of the areas that the meridians run through. They're just different poses, and you can feel it out for your body. Remember, putting cushions under your knees. It's always a nice idea to make the poses more supportive. If there's any sharpness or pain, because that will intensify with a long held pose. It doesn't get better. The urinary bladder meridian is unique in all the meridian systems in that these are the only meridians that pass through the pituitary region of the brain. This is why, if there's an imbalance in the water phase meridians, often there's a hormonal imbalance. This can happen with chronic stress, emotional struggles, hormone irregularities, all of which the water phase helps to provide balance for. This is why, if you ever have to choose one practice to do on a regular basis, one that's going to support immunity, vitality, and reduce stress, it would be the water phase. Last few breaths. Is there anywhere you can let go? Taking a big inhale, and as you exhale, slowly come out of the pose in a safe way, usually the reverse of the way you got into it. Come back to passive rest pose with your feet hip width apart. Feel your hips sinking onto the earth. Take a moment. And then in your own time, you can come to the other side. So this time you would move your hips 2 inches towards the left. And then take the knees down, maybe in a little bit as they come to the right. The left arm can be out, the palm up. The right hand can rest on the knees. If you feel like this is not safe for your back, remember, come all the way onto your right side first. Keep the knees even and stacked, and then open that left arm out, putting a cushion under your left arm or shoulder. Alternatively, this one sometimes is found to be safe for the back too. From passive rest pose, you take the feet wider and then let the knees come down to the right. Maybe putting a cushion under the knees and breathing here. We're staying in this pose for closer to 4 minutes. Last minute. Noticing what you're feeling. Keep breathing. Taking your time. Big inhale. And then exhale, slowly come back to center. Come back to passive rest pose. Heels under the knees, feet hip width apart. Feel your hips sinking onto the earth. Check that your chin isn't jutting up. And then slowly on your next exhale breath, draw both knees into your chest. From here, slowly start to take the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. You can grab a hold behind the knees, drawing the knees wide towards the armpits and the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. If you can reach higher, you can grab the ankles or maybe even grab the feet. This is called stirrup, and it's like an upside down squat. See if you can lengthen your entire spine on the mat. If it feels like too much to hold, we're only going to do 3 minutes for this one. You can always come out of it, just hug your knees in, let your feet go down. But there is a lot of benefit, as I mentioned, in holding these these poses that have discomfort but aren't hurting us. Notice what comes up for you as you breathe here. Is there any place that you can soften? It might just be the face. Halfway through, a minute and a half more. Use your breath to keep the mind calm. Last minute. Well done. As you exhale, release, draw your knees in, maybe rock your back out. The beauty is, no matter how miserable the experience, a lot of good was done. So, from this point, we get to go into deep relaxation with Yoga Nidra. So, slowly take your feet down. If you have a bolster you can put under your knees, that would be great. Blankets. Yoga Nidra is simply a guided meditation that we're going to do in lieu of Shavasana. It's really just a much deeper Shavasana. It's a bit longer. And because it's so long, you really want to make sure you're warm and comfortable. So take the time to put the socks on, the hats on, the scarves on. With Yoga Nidra, we aim for a relaxed yet attentive mind state. So, any thoughts you may have, any plans, any lists, maybe pretend that you can put them on a bookshelf in your mind and then pull it back off that bookshelf at the end of practice if you choose. Check that your neck is comfortable, maybe rock it a couple times. You can really be in any position that's most comfortable for you, or lie on the back with the palms up alongside the body and the feet gently opening out about hip width apart. Bring the awareness to your breath. Just watching the body breathing without controlling it. The practice of Yoga Nidra will now begin. Imagine you're smiling. Without actually smiling, without moving your face at all, feel the energy of the smile. That energy you feel when someone smiles at you, and what you feel when you smile yourself. The joy, the lightness. Feel the energy of the smile over your entire face. Bring that joyous smile's energy down to the center of your chest, to your heart chakra. Feel the energy of the smile there. Bring it to the right side of the lungs, smiling. The left side of the lungs, smiling. The space between the shoulder blades, bringing that elation of the smile to the space between the shoulder blades. Coming down to the lower back and smiling there. Bringing the smile to the belly, the internal organs, smiling all the way into the pelvis, the pelvic bowl. Feeling that smiling energy radiating in your pelvis and down both legs. Feeling that radiant smile in your entire body. Letting that go. Coming back to just feeling your body breathing. At this point in the practice, we set our sankalpa or resolve. The sankalpa is like a heartfelt prayer for the future. It can be anything stated positively in the present tense. Some examples are, I have all I need. I am calm and peaceful. I am clear and open. Choose a resolve that resonates for you, or you can choose one of mine. State that resolve silently to yourself 3 times, remembering it as we will repeat it again at the end of practice. We will now take a journey through the physical body. Allow your consciousness, your awareness to move to every part that I name. Try not to concentrate too hard. Bring your awareness to your right hand, your entire right hand, the right hand thumb, first finger, second finger, ring finger, pinky finger, the palm of the right hand, the back of the hand, the right wrist, forearm, elbow, elbow crease, the right upper arm, the right shoulder, the right side neck, the right shoulder blade, the right armpit, the right front of the chest, the right side waist, the right lower belly, and the lower back, the right front of the hip and the buttock, the right thigh, knee, back of the knee, shin, calf, ankle, heel, sole of the right foot, top of the foot, right foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, pinky toe. Awareness of your left hand, your entire left hand thumb, first finger, second finger, ring finger, pinky finger, palm of the hand, back of the hand, the left wrist, forearm, elbow and elbow crease, the left upper arm, shoulder, left side of the neck, left shoulder blade, left armpit, left front of the chest, the left side waist, the left lower belly, and the lower back, the left front of the hip and the buttocks, the left thigh, knee and back of the knee, shin, calf, ankle, heel, sole of the left foot, top of the foot, left foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, pinky toe. Moving up the back of the body from the bottoms of the feet to the heels, to the calves, backs of the knees, backs of the thighs, buttocks, lower back, mid back, upper back, backs of the arms, backs of the hands, backs of the shoulders and the back of the neck, the back of the head. Moving down the front of the body swiftly, the top of the head, the forehead, both eyebrows, the space between the eyebrows, both eyelids, both eyes, the nose, the tip of the nose, both cheeks, both ears, the upper lip, the lower lip, the chin, the jaw, the throat, the tops of the shoulders down the insides of the arms to the palms, the upper chest, the mid chest, the lower belly, the hips, tops of the thighs, tops of the knees, tops of the shins, and the tops of the feet and toes. Bringing the awareness to your right arm from the fingertips all the way to the right shoulder, the entire right arm. Awareness of the left arm from the left fingertips all the way to the left shoulder, entire left arm. Awareness of both arms together. Bringing your awareness to the right leg from the toes all the way to the right hip. Bringing your awareness to the left leg from the toes all the way to the left hip. Awareness of both legs together. Awareness of the entire head. Awareness of your entire body together. All of the parts of the body together. Every part that's touching the floor and every part that's not touching the floor. The entire body together. Total awareness of your entire body lying on the floor. Feel your body lying perfectly still on the floor in your room. Bringing the awareness to your breathing. Following the breath in the nose all the way down to the belly on the inhale. And on the exhale, following it out from the belly all the way back out through the nose. In and down to the belly, out and back through the nose. Tracing your breaths in and out through the nose. Count your breaths backward from 9 to 1. Inhale, 9. Exhale, 9. Inhale, 8. Exhale, 8. And so on. If you lose count, simply start again from 9. Relax the counting and allow the breath to return to a natural rhythm. We will now begin the image visualization portion. Take your awareness to the space between your eyebrows, the third eye, the cavern of the mind. As I name images, you can imagine them there as if on a movie screen. Try not to linger on the images and keep following my voice. Flickering candle, darkness, stars shining, white fluffy clouds, a torrential rainstorm, snow-capped mountain peaks, a calm, still lake, a deer in the forest, a lone pine tree, purple sunset, a golden sunrise, a torrential rainstorm, birds flying across the horizon, a lone pine tree, a butterfly's wings, snow falling, snow-capped mountain peaks, a forest path, a waterfall, a calm, still lake, a calm, still lake, a calm, still lake. See yourself sitting alongside this calm, still lake. Feel the ground beneath you. Smell the crispness of the air. Feel the breeze on your skin. Close your eyes and begin to meditate, bringing your attention to your breath and the inner space of the mind. Now is the time in the practice to call to mind your sankalpa or resolve. Trying to use the same words that you used at the beginning of practice. Repeat your sankalpa 3 times silently to yourself with full awareness. Bringing your awareness back to your breathing. repeating after me in your mind. Om. 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 The practice of Yoga Nidra is now complete. If you are sleeping, now is the time to wake up, noticing that you feel refreshed, alert, yet relaxed. Come back to awareness slowly, feeling the air on your skin, the temperature of the room, the sound of my voice. Lying still for as long as you need. When you begin to move, start slowly, waking up your body in small parts, being gentle with yourself. Namaste.